Today, I am so excited to share with you a way that you can use our pretty sky switches even if you don't have Photoshop. We found this free program called PicMonkey. It allows you to edit photos, create collages, and use our sky switch overlays. I'm going to show you how easy it is to use and customize these overlays using PicMonkey. The first thing you need to do is open your internet browser and go to picmonkey.com. You do not need to have an account or log in order to edit, although you can sign up for a membership if you wish. Once you get to the main screen, the first thing you need to do is click on this edit button here. And this drop down will pop up and you just choose wherever you want to grab your photo from. Mine is on my computer, so I'm going to click here. And then you just find wherever you have your image saved that you want to edit. And then click on open. And sky switches are great because if you have a blown out sky, you can still be creative and add in some beautiful sky backgrounds. So see this image, it has a little bit of clouds, but it's mostly just kind of very bland. We're going to change that. So now that your photo is open up in PicMonkey, you can go over here to the sidebar and they have a bunch of different neat tools that you can mess around with. But in order to add overlays, we're going to look at this butterfly icon today. So if you click on that, all of these pre-made overlays will pop up that PicMonkey has already made. So you can look through those, but we also want to look at this Your Own button. This is where you're going to be able to add the overlays that you purchased from our store into the PicMonkey program. So just click on Your Own and then find wherever you have your sky switch. This is the one that I'm going to use, so I'm going to click Open. And then it just takes a minute for it to enter it into the picture. Okay, and now it's very small whenever it comes up, but we're going to fix that. We're going to make it larger to cover the whole image. So all you have to do is click on the circle in the corner here and hold it and drag it up to the corner of the image. And then just do the same thing on this other side here and just drag it so that it covers the sides at least of the image. It doesn't have to cover the bottom down here. We're going to change that anyway. Now I want a lot of these clouds to be in my background. So I'm going to go ahead and move this up. And you just want to make sure that it doesn't go above where the skyline hits the land here. So we're going to move this down to right about there. Okay, and now in order to get our trees and our people back, we need to go over here to this overlay pop-up box and go to blend modes and change our blend mode. And there's a few different ones you can see as you go over them. They'll kind of show you what the effects do. For sky switches, I like to either use normal or multiply. It really just depends on the photo and the effect that you're trying to do. If you want a lighter one, you can use something like that. I'm going to use multiply for this one. I think that looks nice. So what I'm going to do now is see this line right here. We want to get rid of that first, and then we want to brush the clouds and the sky off of our people here. So I'm going to go over here back to our overlay pop-up box and click on eraser. And I'm going to move my eraser hardness all the way down to 0. That way there's not any eraser lines. We don't want any harsh lines on here. So I'm going to bump my eraser size up just a bit. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to just run my mouse over and brush off the area here that's creating this harsh line. And it's okay if you erase too much or if it's not perfect because we can go back through and add it back in if we need to. So I'm just going to go real quick and just erase this line here. All right, so now you can see whenever we click off of it that harsh line is gone. So I think that looks pretty good there. So all we need to do now is take it off of our people. So I'm going to go back to the eraser tool and I'm going to make my brush just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to start up here and I'm just going to click and start erasing it off of him here. Like I said, it's okay if you go outside the lines because we're going to fix that. Just a minute, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, I think I pretty much got it off of them. A little bit here. I'm not going to do a perfect job on this. I just want to kind of show you how it works. So I'm going to get it pretty close, but I'm not going to fine tweak it right now. Okay. So now you can see where I brushed off of some of the sky where we actually want the sky to be. So what I'm going to do is, next to the eraser tool, there's another tool that lets you paint back what you erase. So if you click on that, keep that size. You can change the brush size and the hardness. I would leave the hardness at 0. But you can change the brush size if you need it bigger or smaller. I'm going to leave it about where it is. And see, it'll let you paint back the area where you went too far. A little bit around his head here. Like I said, I'm not going to make it perfect. What you need to do is you need to make sure that there's not a glow around your pupil. You see how there's a little bit of a glow around his head? You want to get as close to him as possible to make it look natural. You don't want it to be glowing. Like I said, I'm not going to make it perfect, but that's what the goal is to get rid of that glow. And if I wanted to make this tutorial longer, I would go in and fine-tune that, but I want to make sure that you get the idea, but that you don't have to watch a 20-minute video. So you just go in, and then I would get a smaller brush and go in between their arms here and continue to paint back the parts that I erased that I don't want erased. But I'm going to show you now. Once you have it how you want it, and we're going to pretend like that's how we want it, you just go up here and click on Save. And then you choose a file name. And then you can save it as either a JPEG or a PNG. For photos, I like to save it as a JPEG. You can choose your image quality, and PicMonkey explains those a little bit more whenever you click on those. And then you just go down to Save to My Computer. And then you can choose where you want it to be saved. Usually it'll go back to the original folder where the file was to begin with, so mine is where I want it to be. So I'm going to keep it there and click on Save. And then it just takes a minute to process, and whenever it's done, it will say Masterpiece saved right here, and you're all good to go. You can find it on your computer and post it or print it, whatever you need to do.